Good day, everyone. My name is Brady Severson, and today I'll be talking about artificial intelligence in the finance industry. Specifically, I want to explore the trade-offs that come with using AI, because while the benefits are real and significant, so are the risks. By the end of this presentation, I hope you walk away with a balanced picture of where AI is taking finance and what we need to watch out for along the way. Here's a quick roadmap of what we'll cover. We'll start with some background on how AI is actually being used in finance today, then move into key benefits and key risks. From there, I'll share some insights from a World Economic Forum webinar I analyzed. I'll connect all this back to information systems and wrap up with my conclusions on balancing these trade-offs. So let's start with the basics. What does AI actually do in finance? There are 6 major application areas. First, credit scoring. Instead of just looking at your credit history, AI can evaluate borrowers using behavioral and transactional data. This opens the door for people who might not have traditional financial footprint. Second, fraud detection. Banks process millions of transactions every single day. There's no human team that could realistically monitor all of that. AI can scan those transactions in real time and flag suspicious activity almost instantly. Third, high frequency trading. AI systems can analyze market data and execute trades in milliseconds, exploiting tiny price inefficiencies that no human trader could ever react to fast enough. We also have robo-advisors, which automate personalized investment advice. Also, risk management systems that monitor markets in real time. And finally, data pipelines, the backbone infrastructure that collects, stores, and processes enormous amounts of financial data continuously. Taken together, these applications show just how deeply AI has embedded itself across every layer of the finance industry. Some key benefits. Let's talk about why firms are embracing AI so enthusiastically. The benefits are substantial. First, accuracy. Research by Krawz and others in 2020 found that deep neural networks outperform traditional machine learning models in financial forecasting. In an industry where being slightly more accurate than your competitor can translate into millions of dollars, that matters enormously. Second, cost reduction. McKinsey reported in 2023 that AI has dramatically cut operational costs in banking by automating fraud detection, transaction processing, and even customer service. Work that used to require large teams can now be handled automatically. Third, accessibility. This one is particularly meaningful from a social standpoint. Jack Tiani and others found that by using non-traditional data sources, AI can evaluate borrowers who have no credit history at all, expanding access to financial products for under-reserved populations. And fourth, speed. AI processes market information and reacts faster than any human team possibly could. In fast-moving markets, that competitive edge is increasingly essential. Some key risks and trade-offs. This is where things get complicated. Firstly, algorithmic bias is one of the most serious concerns. AI systems learn from historical data. If that data reflects past discrimination, in lending decisions, for example, the AI will reproduce and even amplify those patterns. And because these systems are complex, the bias can be very difficult to detect. Zhang and others highlighted in 2020 that the lack of transparency in financial AI makes the problem especially hard to address. Then there's systemic instability. Imagine dozens of major financial institutions all using similar AI models. If those models all react the same way to the same market signal at the same time, you get a kind of herding behavior, and that can amplify a market downturn into a full-blown crash. Rundo and others identified this as a real and growing concern. Regulatory gaps are another major issue. The laws and oversight frameworks governing finance simply haven't kept pace with how fast AI is evolving. Lourenco and Silva noted in 2021 that there are no standardized guidelines for AI implementation in financial decision making, which means when something goes wrong, accountability is murky at best. And finally, the black box problem. Even the people building these systems often can't fully explain why the AI made a specific decision. That's a serious issue for regulators, customers, and executives who need to understand and justify outcomes. Moving on, to ground this in a real world industry perspective, I analyzed a World Economic Forum webinar titled New Era for Finance: Tokenized Assets, AI Technologies, and Quantum Computing. A few things stood out. Panelists confirmed what the research shows. AI adoption in finance is accelerating rapidly, and it's enabling faster, more accurate decision making at a scale that wasn't possible before. But they also sounded some clear warnings. The systemic risk issue came up prominently. The idea that when many firms use the same AI models during market stress, it can amplify instability rather than reduce it. Transparency was another big theme. When an AI system makes a mistake, regulators struggle to understand why, and that makes oversight incredibly difficult. The webinar's takeaway aligned closely with my own conclusion. AI in finance requires stricter controls. It requires better transparency, and it requires urgently updated regulations. Now, this topic connects directly to information systems in a meaningful way. AI in finance isn't just a technology story, it's fundamentally an IS story. On the left, you can see core IS concepts, decision support systems, big data pipelines, algorithmic automation, data driven personalization, and expert system augmentation. On the right are the direct finance counterparts: robo advisors, real time transaction monitoring, trading engines, personalized banking, and human AI collaboration. Every one of these finance applications depends on IS infrastructure to function. The data has to be collected, stored, and analyzed. Algorithms have to be built and maintained. And humans have to be in the loop to provide oversight. That's the essence of what we study in IS. And finance is one of the clearest real world examples of it in action. So, where does that leave us? AI in finance comes down to three core trade offs: efficiency versus control. AI makes things faster and more accurate, but it reduces human oversight and makes decisions harder to explain. Innovation versus risk. Tools like robo-advisors open finance to more people, but they also introduce new categories of systemic and bias-related danger. And finally, progress versus regulation. The technology is moving faster than the rules designed to govern it. Now, my personal view is that there's no future in finance without AI. The competitive pressures are too strong and the efficiency gains are too significant to walk away from. But the firms and regulators that succeed will be the ones who actively manage these trade offs, building in transparency, accountability, and safeguards from the start. Thank you, and I'm more than happy to take any questions.